All right, so welcome once again, everybody, to our Wednesday webinar. So our Wednesday webinars are now done every single month versus every single week like we were doing a couple weeks ago. So now that everybody is starting to get back into the spa and the salon, post-COVID-19, not as much time available to focus on different webinars. So we started doing this webinar every month, but it falls on a Wednesday as well. So the presentation that we have laid out for you all today is going to be the Circadia Advanced Mixology. So what's kind of unique about the Circadia product line is we don't have hundreds and hundreds of SKUs like other product lines out there. However, with the products that we do carry, you can have tons of different ways to either change the activity, increase the activity, decrease the activity, or just create a brand new product. So I do know when I also became a licensed esthetician, I got bored pretty quickly with just following standard protocols. So I always wanted to be my own chemist in the treatment room. So with this Circadia product line, as long as you know the fundamentals, the base of the product, the pH, and how it interacts with different products, you'll really understand how you can kind of mix the different products on there as well. So our first category of mixology that we're going to go through is kind of to start the facial off with a cleanse. So we're going to talk about different ways that you can either bump up the activity of a cleanser, change the cleanser, or even decrease the activity of a cleanser. So the first kind of mixology cleanser that we're going to go through, it's called the cooling gel cleanser. So this is probably one of my personal favorite kind of mixes to utilize in the treatment room. So the two products that we're utilizing is going to be the lipid replacing cleansing gel, but we're also utilizing the snow algae and spirulina cooling mask. So kind of little brief general knowledge just on the products individually. The lipid replacing cleansing gel, the kind of best way to think about this cleanser as far as a Circadia cleanser, think of this as your gentle foaming cleanser. So we don't have any active ingredients in here that can possibly cause irritation to a client's skin. Some of the key benefits of the lipid replacing cleansing gel is it's going to be a high foamer. It's going to remove dirt, debris, makeup, but there's nothing in here that could potentially compromise a skin. So best way to explain it to your guests is just it's a gentle foaming cleanser. It's going to cut through makeup, dirt, and debris, provide a nice surface onto the skin to cleanse. But then the snow algae and spirulina cooling mask, this is one of our masks that is really one of our most popular masks. So some of the key benefits of the snow algae and spirulina cooling mask is it provides an instant cooling feel to the skin. In addition to it providing that cooling feel to the skin, it also helps to repair DNA damage. And it's just loaded because of that spirulina with different antioxidants, nutrients, and vitamins on there. So the way that you'll kind of utilize this as a cleanse is you're going to combine the lipid replacing cleansing gel and the snow algae and spirulina cooling mask. You don't need much of this, and you can also determine how much of that cooling effect that you want. For more of a sensitive or a rosacea type of clientele, sometimes they can feel that cooling effect come across as heat or discomfort. So for them, I would typically just use a little bit less than I would if more of a normal oily skin. So once you combine those together, you're going to add a little bit of water to it, and you're going to provide nice cooling cleanse to a client's skin. Shauna, you want to tell us some ways that you utilize this in the treatment room?
Yeah, so I like to use this, especially with people that have acne. I know that most people that do have the higher grades of acne are seeing a dermatologist as well, and they do have them on medication. I do have a lot of clients that feel that heat on their skin because of the medication that they're on. And this is a great mixologist part that you can take the cleanser and take the cooling mask and mix it together, and they can kind of feel that relief. The lipid cleanser is probably one of my most favorite cleansers. Because of the seaweed extract in there, it's going to be rich in so many vitamins that they're going to feel that instant cooling and soothing effect on their skin. So mixing them both together on any skin that is essentially radiating heat, even like going through menopause, someone that does have those like heat flashes and they're constantly feeling heat, this is a great different duo to use.
The other thing that I do want to kind of mention on this slide here as well. So this mixture that you see here, it's also what we utilize to remove our firming peptide mask. So I'm sure if you all have experienced our firming peptide mask, you get really instant gratification. However, the removal process can be a little time consuming and a little bit difficult. So what you want to do when you're going to remove that mask is you combine exactly like this mixture that's on here, except you apply it into a dish and then you foam it up. So you use like a brush, like a fan brush, a little bit of water, and then you foam it up and you're gonna get like a high shaving cream type of fill to it or look to it. And then you apply that mixture over top this mask and it instantly dissolves that firming peptide mask that's gonna be on the client's skin. Lay a hot towel over top and that mask is gonna come right up with it as well. So once again, kind of cooling gel cleanser. Ideal candidates is gonna be all skin types, all skin conditions, but where you'll see it extremely popular is male clientele. They absolutely love the cooling effect, especially in like a beard area or if they're more oily acne. Someone that's a little bit more on they have a lot of inflamed acne. This is great for that as well, just because that cooling effect is also going to be anti-inflammatory, reduce redness onto the client's skin. The next mixture that we have here, it's called our Brightening Antioxidant Milk Cleanser. So what's great about these two products, so what we're combining to create this cleanser is Almondola Milk Cleanser and Australian Superberry Antioxidant Mask. So both of these products are going to be in our brightening range. So they're both designed to suppress melanocyte activity and also remove surface proteins and increase cell turnover. So the best way that you can kind of think about this mixture is you're starting off the facial with an exfoliating brightening cleanser. So the Almondola Milk Cleanser, it's our dairy-free milk cleanser. So we're not utilizing a milk that's sourced from any type of animal derivative. The milk that's going to be in here is going to be a sweet almond milk. So that's going to be a nice carrier for the lactic and mandelic acid that's going to be in there. So the Almondola Milk Cleanser, it does have a 1.5% lactic, 1.5% mandelic acid. So it's considered like our AHA brightening cleanser. So it does have about a 3% AHA that's going to be in there. However, the Australian Superberry Antioxidant Mask, I feel like when we name products, we tell you exactly what's in it and what it does. Of course, there's berries that are indigenous to the Australian outback that provide antioxidant support. However, there's also lactic and mandelic acid in that mask. So it's about a 2.5% of each. So when you kind of combine these together, the AHA kind of goes up and you get about an 8 to 10% AHA. So when you combine these and you apply it and utilize it in more of a kind of a cleanser type of setting, it typically is only going to get left on the skin for 30 seconds to a minute. So you do want to add a little bit of water and really massage this onto the client's skin. So it will help to cut through makeup, dirt, and debris. However, the key benefits of this mixture is more going to increase cell turnover, start the facial with a nice exfoliation, and then also start to suppress melanocyte activity. So kind of think of utilizing this as a prep. So you're utilizing this before an enzyme, before an acid, something like that. It's going to prep the skin because it's starting that exfoliation before you even get to the rest of your facial. So every single skin needs a nice exfoliation. However, you always have to determine if you're going to do an acid exfoliation or an enzyme exfoliation. So, we exfoliate the skin in aesthetics for a couple different reasons. So one of the main reasons that we exfoliate the skin, of course, is to remove surface protein. As you remove surface protein, the skin is instantly going to look brighter. The other thing exfoliation is going to do is start to increase cell turnover. However, one huge benefit of exfoliating the skin, it's going to allow your other products to penetrate a little bit better into the skin. So if you have a client that has highly keratinized skin, their serums are not going to work as well. Their enzymes are not going to work as well. Their lotions, their toners. So just removing that surface protein is going to have instant gratification because of the rest of their products are going to work so much better into the skin. Shauna, do you have anything to add to this one?
I just want to say, I really love this duo as well. I do work with a lot of acne clients. So one thing that I find really great, I know you did say about the tyrosine inhibitors and the pigmentation and so forth, but I really love to use this duo on my dry acne clients because of that mandelic acid, which is the antimicrobial, and then you have that lactic, which is really going to help with hydration. So mixing these two together are definitely a game changer, and they can feel that almost like a tingly, I would say, feeling. It's very active, but it's not as much where it's going to cause any irritation, and it's going to remove the buildup and the keratin and protein on the skin. So I really do love this duo, especially in the treatment room on my dry acne clients.
Yeah, dry acne, it's great for that. So kind of ideal clientele for this. So we all know that lactic acid in general is considered a hydrator. So your dry clientele, it's also going to be great for your anti-aging, hyperpigmentation, more of a mature skin. Whereas this next one, we're utilizing similar products. So we have the brightening antioxidant cleansing gel. So same Australian berry, superberry antioxidant mask. However, the cleanser of choice for this one is going to be the lipid replacing cleansing gel. So we're going to get similar benefits as the one that we just discussed with that mixology. However, this one is going to be more for an oily acne. It's also great for a client that really likes a foam. So you'll realize or notice, I'm sure you've already noticed that cleansers are all based on generations. So your more mature clientele, they're used to cleansing creams, they're used to cleansing balms, they're used to cleansing milks. However, your younger generation, if it didn't foam, it didn't work. So this cleanser, some of the key differences is the way that it's going to remove makeup, dirt, and debris. You'll notice on the cleanser that we just talked about, the Almondola milk cleanser, we are utilizing the AHAs in the milk and also more of an emollient-based type of kind of remover to remove that oil on the skin. Whereas the brightening antioxidant cleansing gel, since it is utilizing that lipid replacing cleansing gel, it's going to be a surfactant-based cleanser. So surfactants are utilized in the aesthetic industry. Well, they're utilized pretty much everywhere. Your shampoo industry, your just anywhere where you get something to foam. So surfactants are designed to give the product its foaming action. In addition to it designed to give the product its foaming action, surfactants is also what's going to remove oil from the skin, dirt, debris, makeup from the skin as well. So this product, since it's more of a surfactant base, you are going to get foaming action. However, this one is going to be more ideal for someone that's oily acne versus the other mixture was more of that dry, dehydrated aging clientele. But I'm kind of trying both out, see which one works best for you. I personally love the mixture of both of these. Another thing I do want to note with all of these mixology that we're doing, these can be left on the skin a little bit longer. So whereas typical cleanses, we typically cleanse for 30 seconds to a minute. So now you can kind of apply these cleansers onto the skin, maybe with a brush or maybe a Clarisonic, something like that. Leave it on the skin for maybe 1 to 2 minutes and then remove it. That way you get the benefits of the enzymes, but you also get the benefits of the mask. So the different active ingredients that are going to be in these products also. The next cleanser that we have, so this one is actually another kind of personal favorite of mine, especially in the treatment room. So this one is called our Detoxifying Green Tea Cleanser. So we do have two masks that are not as popular as they once were because we launched 6 new masks probably in the last 3 years. However, for those who have been with Circadia for quite a bit of time, I'm sure you all know that we had 2 masks and that was it. Probably from like 2012 all the way on to about 2017, 16, 17. And those 2 masks were called our green tea mask and also our red tea mask. So they are great as standalone masks, especially when you're trying to like detoxify the skin or infuse antioxidants. However, this detoxifying green tea mixture is amazing to detoxify the skin, someone that's more of an oily acne prone clientele. So what we're doing with this mixture is we're mixing the lipid replacing cleansing gel and also the green tea mask. So you can either mix it into your hands. The way that I typically mix it before I apply it on a client's skin is I'll just get like a bowl or a dish. I'll mix them both together. And I haven't added water yet. So as I mix them together, I apply it with a fan brush. I'll apply that over the skin, face, neck, and décolleté. And then I get my hands a little damp. I'll wet my hands. And when I apply that over top this mask, that's when it foams up quite a bit. And it's kind of a unique type of feeling because if you've ever experienced the green tea mask, it is a little stimulating, not really uncomfortable, but you do feel some activity. So when you go to work this onto the skin, it helps to detoxify, but in addition to detoxifying, it's going to help to control oil production. It's going to kill P. acne bacteria, and you get just a nice sensation with this one also. Do you have anything to add on this one, Shauna? I know you like to mix this one a little differently compared to what's on here.
Yes, I mean, I definitely love this duo with the lipid and the green tea. Green tea is one of my favorite masks to use. I know it does not have as much attention as our newer mask, but this one is overall just a great mask, and especially if you're using it as a cleanser, I really like to use the lipid if they're having more of the acne, the oily prone skin, but I also love to mix it with the Amendola cleanser. That one is just a really great, it's a little bit of active like you said, and I do think that it is a little bit calming as well. When you're kind of adding the lactic in there, you have the hydration, the chamomile is gonna be for the anti-inflammatory. So both duos are great, but I think they're gonna be great when you do have someone that has that acne prone skin.
So that kind of brings us to our next one. So now, of course, we had to utilize our red tea, and this is also another amazing mixture. So this one's our red tea almond milk brightening cleanser. So we discussed the almondola milk cleanser a little earlier. So it's going to be that sweet almond milk base, but it does have that lactic and mandelic acid to it. However, with this one, we're going to combine this with the red tea mask. So we are utilizing red tea in this mask, and the red tea provides a lot of antioxidant support. It does help to detoxify the skin a little bit, but it also helps to infuse and nourish the skin with different vitamins, antioxidants, and minerals. So this mixture, it's going to be great for more of your anti-aging clientele, hyperpigmented type of clientele. I also utilize this one for some dry acne. So typically dry acne, especially kind of like a higher Fitzpatrick, the way that this is going to help a dry acne is the almondola milk cleanser does have that, it does have that lactic acid that stimulates those natural glycosaminoglycans. However, a lot of times whenever we're dealing with a dry acne, we're not really looking at bacteria when we're looking at a client's skin if they have dry acne. What we're looking at is a pigmented lesion that's probably been there for quite a bit of time. So, you know, what we need to do is address that lesion or that dark spot. So this is not only going to be antibacterial with the mandelic acid that's in the almondola milk cleanser. The red tea is also going to detoxify the skin, pull up impurities. However, it's also going to be a little bit more gentle compared to the green tea mask. So it's still going to infuse a lot of antioxidants and vitamins and kind of just nourish the skin at the same time. So kind of the last kind of cleanser mixture that we have, so what it's called is our foaming enzyme cleanser. So I'm sure you all have seen that our Circadia enzymes, they come in a powder and an activator form. So we do have 3 different enzymes to choose from. So we have our cocoa enzyme, our raspberry enzyme, and also our zymase enzyme. So what we're going to do with our foaming enzyme cleanser is we're going to start the facial out with an enzymatic cleanse. So enzymatic cleanses is kind of huge in the aesthetic industry. There's many companies that just advertise an enzyme type of cleanse. So what's great about this is you now have the ability to customize your enzymatic cleanse onto the client's skin, but you're still going to get quite a bit of foaming action. So the products that you're going to choose for this one, it's going to be the lipid replacing cleansing gel. That's going to be your cleanser that you'll want to utilize. You can use something like our microexfoliant honey cleanser. You can also possibly use the cleansing gel with salicylic acid if you wanted to. But the key to this is you want a water-based cleanser that's going to have a foaming surfactant to it. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to mix kind of 1 pump lipid replacing cleansing gel to a 1/4 teaspoon of the chosen powder. So if you notice all of our Circadia enzymes, since they do come in that powder and activator form, the activator is not the enzymatic activity. All of your enzymatic activity is going to come from the powder. So you're going to combine both of those together. The way that I will utilize this mixture is in a bowl. So I don't really mix it into my hands. I'll put this into a bowl. I'll mix the lipid replacing cleansing gel. I'll also mix the chosen powder. So when you're deciding which powder to choose, the cocoa enzyme is going to be the least active compared to the rest of our enzymes. In addition to it being the least active, it's also going to have a raw Hershey's cocoa powder in it, which is a natural anti-inflammatory antioxidant. So that's really beneficial for inflamed skin, oily acne clientele. The raspberry enzyme, you would choose this one more for its ability to decrease melanocyte activity. So it does have the same 3 digestive proteins that you'll find in the cocoa enzyme, which is the bromelain, papain, and trypsin. However, there's a red raspberry seed extract that's also going to be in this enzyme. That red raspberry seed extract is a natural azelaic acid, and that's what is going to decrease melanocyte activity to suppress melanosome, the melanin production. So that one's ideal for aging and also a brightening clientele. However, the zymase enzyme, this is our kind of our most aggressive enzyme that we have. So it has a higher concentration of those 3 different enzymes. They have more activity compared to the other 2 enzymes we talked about. Same enzymes as before, bromelain, papain, and also trypsin. However, the zymase also has 3 different forms of vitamin C. So it has lemon peel extract, it does have L-ascorbic acid in there, and it also has citric acid. So the 3 benefits of these 3 different types of vitamin C, what they're going to do, not only do they provide antioxidant support, they also get a nice firming, toning, and tightening benefit to the skin. So this one is gonna be really good for thick, mature, oxidative, someone that has oxidative damage, or someone that has a asphyxiated type of skin, a smoker skin it's gonna be great for. So kind of back to the directions. So you'll mix the lipid replacing cleansing gel, you'll mix the powder enzyme, and then add water to it. So the key is you want to add water to your mixture. Once you start to mix it up with the fan brush into your hand, you're going to notice it's going to kind of foam up. Apply that onto the skin and hit it with some steam as you're massaging and utilizing it just like a cleanse. You're going to want to do this from anywhere to 2 to 5 minutes, and then you'll remove. So as the other kind of mixology cleansers that we talked about cleansers that what our mixology was dealing with more acids versus enzymes. So this is dealing with enzymes. So, you know, we utilize enzymes and acids because they do provide similar benefits to the skin. You know, they both are designed to remove surface protein. However, they do it in 2 completely different ways. So enzymes are digestive proteins that will digest the desmosome of the skin. And it's almost like the little snap that's holding our skin cells together. One of the key benefits of enzymes is they don't trigger a wound in the skin. They don't trigger that inflammatory response like acids do. So a chemical peel or an acid, what determines the strength of those, kind of the biggest thing to take in consideration is going to be pH. The lower the pH, the more aggressive that acid is going to be. So an acid is going to attach itself to the protein of the skin and kind of pull it apart. One of the key benefits of its ability to pull apart proteins is it does trigger a wound in the skin. So we do utilize acids in the aesthetic industry. One, they help to remove surface protein, they increase cell turnover, but they also stimulate fibroblast activity. So we do chemical peels to create that wound. It's almost like a controlled wound that we're doing onto the skin. As we create that wound, our body sees that as it needs to increase collagen and elastin by stimulating fibroblast activity. Enzymes, on the other hand, will not usually stimulate fibroblast activity. So you always want to determine when to enzyme and when to acid. And it's all about the amount of inflammation that's associated with your client. In addition to that, it's also about their sensitivity levels. So I always recommend, if you're unsure on the client, start out with more of an enzyme type of treatment and slowly bring in different types of acids on here. Shauna, do you use quite a bit of these ones in your treatment room?
Yes, I was going to add when you were finished talking that I love to do any combination of the cocoa raspberry zymase, especially on people that have that glycation. I do have, as well as an older, more mature clientele where they do come in and their glycation on their skin, it's very hard for me to have any of the stuff that I'm putting on their skin penetrate. So I will go right to the enzymatic cleansers to really remove that glycation and that keratin buildup on their skin so that I know that when they go home, their serums are going to penetrate a little bit better.
Perfect. All right, so the next portion of this presentation, so that is all the cleansers. So if you have any questions, you can definitely chat those into us. But now we're going to talk about different ways that you can change your different types of exfoliation that you have in the treatment room. So the first one that we're going to have, so earlier I talked about how our enzymes are strictly enzymatic properties. There's no alpha hydroxy acids, but I also talked about how our enzymes come in a powder and also an activator. So to kind of briefly talk about this really quick. So, you know, a lot of the times I get a question like, why do I have to mix it? You know, most companies, they formulate their enzymes, which are pre-solubilized, where you don't have to mix it. So kind of thinking about this. So enzymes are protein that are designed to dissolve protein. So enzymes are considered to be proteolytic. So if we had our enzymes pre-solubilized, it's pretty much going to cannibalize on itself. So you may get really good efficacy the very first time that you utilize it. However, as days go on, it's starting to really cannibalize on itself within the dish or within the packaging on there. So with Circadia, we always want to guarantee the efficacy every single time you apply it onto your client's skin. So that's why we have a powder and an activator form. The other thing to note is all of our enzymes are strictly enzymatic properties. I know you all are probably familiar with enzymes and acids typically combined together in a pre-solubilized formulation. However, we do know that acids are designed to pull apart protein. Enzymes are protein. So if we had an acid that was already pre-solubilized in our enzymes, it's pretty much that acid is going to start to pretty much denature the enzymes before you even apply it onto a client's skin. However, there's different ways that you can utilize enzymes and acids in the Circadia range just by either doing a layering technique or a mixology technique, or apply and remove. So the other thing to know about the Circadia enzymes is all of the activity is going to come from the powder. The activity does not come from the activator. So what that means is all of the activators are going to be universal. In addition to our activators being universal, all of our functional mists, which we'll talk about here shortly, all of our functional mists will also activate the powder, but in addition to it activating the powder, it's also going to add different active ingredients to it as well. So as you can see on here, the brightening peptide enzyme, what we're utilizing to activate the raspberry enzyme. So raspberry enzyme is going to be the enzyme that is going to be more for hyperpigmentation. Utilizing the licorice and berry brightening mist, if you utilize that to activate the powder, you're adding additional tyrosinase inhibitors, but also you're adding an ingredient that's called melanostatin 5. So melanostatin 5 is a peptide, but it's considered to be more of a brightening peptide. But instead of it being like a tyrosinase inhibitor, it's an alpha MSH inhibitor. So alpha MSH stands for alpha melanin stimulating hormone. So kind of think of this. So our skin is going to produce pigmentation when it feels like it needs to protect itself. So when our skin feels like it needs to protect itself, our body's going to produce this hormone that's going to start the melanogenesis process. So utilizing this in this formulation, not only are you going to get some tyrosinase inhibitors, it's going to remove surface protein, it's also going to help to protect the skin as well. So this one is really good for hyperpigmentation, anti-aging, and also a melasma client. So kind of think of this one, even higher Fitzpatrick's it's amazing for, or your darker skin type that you'll see, especially if you have a darker Fitzpatrick that, they get this lesion or the bug bite, and now you have this little dark spot that lasts for many, many, many months afterwards. So another thing to note, so in our mind, we probably think, it's probably not cost effective to utilize a mist to activate our enzymes. However, it's the exact same. So the activators are typically, they're $30 for an 8 ounce, where our functional mists, they do range from a certain price, but they're no higher than 15 for a 4 ounce. So it's about the same cost per treatment or cost per usage, utilizing a functional mist to activate any of your enzyme powders. So in addition to just utilizing this mist to just activate the raspberry, that's just on this slide here, you can utilize the licorice and berberry brightening mist to even activate the zymase enzyme. You can utilize it to activate the cocoa enzyme. So anywhere where you have that powder enzyme, you can utilize it to activate that. Sean, anything to add on this one?
Yeah, and I think a great thing to add, even though you said all like the great ingredients that the licorice and berberry mist do include, I think it is very important to say that our mists are the same potency as our serums, which I don't think a lot of people do know that. So when you are using the licorice with the raspberry, you are adding all those amazing inhibitor properties in there as the same potency that would be as our serums for our brightening.
Yeah, I completely agree. That is definitely one thing that we don't mention, So I'm sure you all have noticed that our functional mists, they have an aggressive pump and an aggressive sprayer. When I'm typically out in the field, I always tell people to spray it into your hand first so you can get the feel of that pump before you spray it onto your face. I don't know how many times I've seen people shoot their eye out with it. And the reason why it has such an aggressive pump or an aggressive sprayer is because we did not dilute the functional mist as far as the active ingredients go. So they're just as effective and just as potent as a traditional treatment serum, just a different delivery system. So if you are utilizing the functional mist as a standalone product, not in the mixology portion of this, there's different ways that you can apply it onto the skin. So some of our estheticians will just kind of spray it up into the air, have it fall onto the skin. Some of them will spray it on like a 2x2 or a 4x4 and really infuse it into the skin. We also have some estheticians that will spray it into their hands and press it in. Also, another kind of, I guess this can be a mixology as well, they will use the functional mist combined with our water-based serums as well. So they'll typically put the serum in their hand first and spray it with the chosen mist, kind of tap it into their hands and really do a nice massage onto a client's skin with this one also. All right, so the next one, so once again, we're still utilizing our functional mist to activate the cocoa enzyme. So you can utilize this mist to activate any of the enzymes, but the reason why we have this combined together, so we're combining the white willow and juniper clearing mist. So exactly like this one sounds, this is our clearing mist that's really designed for your oily acne clientele. So it does have white willow and juniper, which is natural forms of salicylic acid to control oil and kill P. acne bacteria on a client's skin. However, we're utilizing this mist to activate the powder because this powder is also anti-inflammatory, antioxidants, but it does have the ability to remove surface proteins. One thing I do want to kind of mention though, so if you're used to like the signature scent or the signature fragrance of our cocoa enzyme, that signature scent or that signature cocoa aroma is in the activator. So if you are utilizing our functional mist to activate the powders, they're not going to have as much of that cocoa scent or that cocoa aroma.
I do think one to mention as well, this is a great back treatment. Mixing these two together, if people do have that back acne, I love using this in the treatment room. The results are absolutely amazing when you remove it.
Awesome. Oh, and also another thing we forgot to mention, so enzymes in general, they're high functioning with keeping them damp and also keeping them with heat or some type of, keep them warmer than the skin temperature on there. So if any of our enzymes were to dry out on the skin, they're no longer going to remain active. So steam is great, but instead of just the steam, there's a couple different things you can do to maintain moisture. So what I will do to maintain moisture is I'll either get like wet 4x4s and lay those over top and then do a steamer or then do a hot towel. Another thing that you can also do is just continue to spray the skin down throughout the whole entire, as long as the enzyme is sitting on the skin. So if you do see it starting to dry out a little bit, you can spray it down with one of the functional mists, and that's just going to continue to add those active ingredients. So next one, redness reducing enzyme. So we have another functional mist that we're utilizing with the cocoa enzyme. This one is called aloe and calendula calming gel. I say calendula, some people say calendula, so I have no idea how to even pronounce that word because I get corrected everywhere I travel to. Shauna, how do you say it?
Calendula.
Calendula, so it might be calendula, I have no idea. I say calendula. But the reason for this is because this does have a botanical blend in it that is very calming and soothing and redness reducing. So when you mix both of these together, that's when you're going to get the addition of that redness reducing anti-inflammatory calming blend. So same exact as before, you're just going to mix these together. This one's going to be more ideal for someone that's really sensitive, rosacea, acne prone, inflamed acne. It's going to be really great for that clientele. And then the last one that we have, it's called our antioxidant enriched enzyme. So the two enzymes that we're looking at, so if you look at the products up here, there's actually a typo when I made this. It's not the raspberry enzyme, even though you can use the raspberry. So what I meant to type in here was raspberry or zymase enzyme. So both of those are going to have antioxidants in the enzymes itself. However, what we're utilizing is the blueberry and white tea hydrating mist to either activate the raspberry enzyme or to activate the zymase enzyme. So the key benefit of utilizing the blueberry and white tea to activate these enzymes is the blueberry and white tea, think of this as our antioxidant hydrating mist. So in addition to it removing those surface protein, it's going to provide a lot of antioxidant support. But then if you mix it with the zymase enzyme has those 3 different forms of vitamin C in there that's going to provide antioxidant, firming, and toning benefits. So this one is really great for more mature, highly keratinized, glycated, a smoker's skin. So this one is really good for that client that, you know, you want to give them a chemical peel, but you know they are not going to follow their home care instructions whatsoever. They're pickers, they're pokers. So what you can do is you can utilize this more aggressive type of enzyme onto their skin, and there's no going to be delayed peeling, there's no downtime, but they did get a nice, really good exfoliation. So with all of our enzymes, all of the exfoliation is going to happen right there in the treatment room. So once you remove it or once you take it off the skin, they're no longer going to feel the activity of this one. Shauna, have you used this one in the treatment room?
I have used this one, and I really do like it on my more mature clientele. The Zymaze, I think, is one of our not as popular ones as the cocoa because it does smell delicious, but the Zymaze is one of my absolute favorite enzymes to use. You could honestly just cleanse their skin. You could do this duo and you could leave with finishing products, and their skin is already going to show results because of the citrus peel and the ascorbic acid that is in the Zymaze. And the blueberry and white tea is just an added bonus with that Mary Moist in there for moisture as well.
So then the next kind of little portion, we're going to talk what's considered an AHA boost. So this is really isn't mixology. You're not really mixing anything. However, we added this in here because it's a lot of, you know, this is something that a lot of our estheticians really don't know about. So our enzymes, we mentioned earlier how they are strictly enzymatic properties. So there's just bromelain, papain, and trypsin. There's no AHAs to it. However, some clients, they may need AHAs and they may need enzymes. So they might need a dual type of exfoliation on there. So what we have is you can add an AHA boost to any of the enzymes that are on the client's skin. The other unique benefit of this is the cost per usage is going to be so minimal. However, you can even charge this as like an AHA boost. Like for a couple dollars added to their facial, did you want to add an AHA boost to their treatment? So what you're going to utilize is that almondola milk cleanser. So I do know we talk about this product quite a bit. One of the reasons for it is because it's super universal. So we mentioned how it does have that lactic and mandelic acid in there that's at 1.5% of each. So the way that you'll utilize this as an AHA boost, so you'll apply the enzyme like regular to the client's skin. So whether it be your cocoa enzyme, your raspberry, or even your Zymaze enzyme. However, maybe the last 2 to 5 minutes that enzyme is going to be applied onto the client's skin with steam, you're just going to apply the almondola milk cleanser into your hands, your gloved hands, and then you're going to just massage this over top of the enzyme. It's going to do a couple of different things. What it's going to do is it's going to add that AHA boost. So now they're going to experience additional exfoliation. However, it's going to enhance and make the removal of the enzymes so much easier. So a lot of the times I hear if our enzymes are mixed too thick, it's really hard to remove. So if you're just applying the AHA boost over top, it starts to soften up that enzyme, and then the enzyme is going to come off so much quicker. So this AHA boost, it's really going to be ideal for your mature skin, aging, damaged, glycated, a smoker skin as well. You can utilize this for a dry acne. You can also utilize it for an oily acne. However, oily acne, they typically do best more with like salicylic acids, like white willow, juniper would be better for that skin. But you know, this does have the mandelic acid, so it will help also with that. Shauna, anything to add on the exfoliation section?
One of the tips I do like to add to this is after the enzyme has been on the skin for 7-10 minutes, you are going to apply the amendola. At that time, I also go ahead and lay 4x4s over the skin and massage over top of the 4x4s. So when I go to remove, the removal is so simple and easy.
Awesome, thank you. So the next portion that we're going to go through is going to be the mask section. So there's also ways that you can increase the activity of the mask, change the activity. So we're going to kind of discuss this really quick. So this is going to be pretty universal for the majority of our masks. So we can cut the intensity. So I'm sure you all are familiar with our masks and how our masks are going to be very clinical. They do have some clinical ingredients to them, but then you also get more of that spa resort type of smell and feel to it. So it's almost like you smell these nice berries. You don't feel like it's going to be pretty active. However, it can be active on a client's skin. So you can always cut the intensity of that mask. So what you're going to want to think of is the Marshmallow Whip Hydrating Mask as your blending mask. As a standalone mask, the Marshmallow Whip Hydrating Mask is going to be your healing, hydrating, anti-inflammatory, anti-redness mask. So some of the key ingredients that you'll find in the Marshmallow Whip Hydrating Mask are, it does have marshmallow root extract and marshmallow root extract. So it's a natural, powerful anti-inflammatory. So if you ever gone to like a natural holistic doctor and you had a lot of stomach inflammation, they're going to have you, or they're going to prescribe you like ginger root tea, marshmallow root tea, just because it's going to be a powerful anti-inflammatory. In addition to having that anti-inflammatory benefits to the Marshmallow Whip Hydrating Mask, it also has hyaluronic acid that's going to bind environmental moisture to the skin. There's also going to be a peptide called diffuporin. So if you're familiar with our Aquaporin hydrating cream, diffuporin is going to be the peptide hydrator that's going to increase hydration within your Aquaporin channels. So think that it brings hydration up. And another kind of key ingredient in this mixture is going to be royal jelly, and that's going to be the healing and hydrating properties. So utilizing this to cut the intensity of like your snow algae, your Australian superberry mask, the green tea mask, the red tea mask, they're going to still get the clinical benefits of those masks. However, you just added additional healing and hydrating properties to those masks as well. So you don't always have to mix equal parts. You can start to customize this for your client's skin. So maybe you need more marshmallow than you need active mask, or maybe you need more of the active mask compared to the marshmallow mask. But when you mix these together, they blend extremely nicely. You're cutting down the intensity, but you're also adding additional healing and hydrating properties. I know my favorite for this one is I like to mix this with the snow algae. So me personally, for my skin, if you've ever utilized the snow algae, you'll probably notice that some of your sensitive or some of your reactive clientele, that snow algae cooling mask comes across as heat or discomfort. However, it's an amazing mask because there's many benefits to it. So I love to mix those equal parts because it cuts down on that cooling sensation, but it leaves the skin nice and glowing onto a client's skin. Shauna, do you have a personal favorite?
My personal favorite is mixing the marshmallow and the Australian berry. I think if you do have clients that are coming in and they're having the Australian berry every time and you want to add something different, adding the marshmallow gives it that whipped feeling, and it's very almost like a cool sensation. But when you remove both the masks mixed together, they're going to have that plump, hydrated skin, and they can still feel that activeness when it's on the skin.
Yeah, that's definitely a good point. Another thing, so, you know, we have our clay-based masks. So green tea mask, red tea mask. It's going to be both our clay-based masks. So some clients and also some estheticians, they're not really fond, you know, they don't really like clay-based masks because how it hardens and dries onto the skin. Me personally, I do enjoy it. However, adding the marshmallow whip mask to those, it's not going to get that same drying feeling, but they're still going to get the detoxifying benefits of the green tea and then the nutrient benefits from the red tea as well. So in addition to kind of cutting the intensity, you know, maybe you'll want to increase the intensity on there as well. So once again, Almondola Milk Cleanser is going to be utilized to increase the intensity of your treatment masks. So this is also similar to that AHA boost that we did with the enzymes. However, we're adding this directly into some of more of our masks that we have. So once again, lactic mandelic acid, it's going to be another AHA boost. However, we're adding this in either your Australian berry mask. I know that's a kind of a fan favorite, is mixing those two together because it does have about an 8 to 10% AHA when you combine them. However, mixing it with the caviar lime and passion fruit enzyme mask, it adds another form of exfoliation. So the caviar lime and passion fruit enzyme mask, it does have two forms of exfoliation. It's almost like a gentle exfoliator. It does have caviar lime. So caviar lime, it's not fish eggs. So I get that quite a bit. They want to know if it's vegan, but there's no, so caviar lime, it's not fish eggs. So caviar lime, it's going to be a fruit that it's indigenous to the subtropics of Australia. However, this fruit, it's part of the citrus family as well. So this fruit, it has the same kind of texture as a traditional lime, except it's not going to be cylindrical in structure. It's more linear in structure, almost kind of looks like a finger. When you cut this fruit open, the fruit of it, it looks like little caviar eggs. So that's why they call it caviar lime. You'll also hear it like finger lime caviar or lime pearl caviar as well as another name that you'll typically hear it. However, the caviar lime, it's considered to be a second generation alpha hydroxy acid. So traditional alpha hydroxy acids can be a little irritating on the skin because of the way that it denatures protein. Caviar lime is going to shred the channel that's holding the keratinocytes together. So we combine the caviar lime with an encapsulated bromelain. So the bromelain in there is encapsulated. What bursts that encapsulation is the heat of the client's skin, even massage over top, or you can possibly do like a hot towel. So when you first apply this on the client's skin, you don't really feel too much activity until 30 seconds to a minute in when that bromelain enzyme starts to kind of burst. But you can add the Amendola milk cleanser and now you're adding that lactic mandelic acid to it as well. You can also add this to snow algae and spirulina cooling mask, but just note that's going to be more for your really thicker, highly keratinized skin. That mixture may be a little too stimulating for sensitive rosacea skin. Another mixture that I absolutely do like is the marshmallow whip hydrating mask. I'm mixing the Amendola into that as well. So that is going to be more of like a gentle AHA mask. You know, it's not going to be super aggressive. It's going to be really nice to remove surface proteins on your sensitive clientele or even your reactive. You can also add this to the red or the green tea mask. So it's definitely fun that way as well. Shauna, do you have a personal favorite of these ones?
Although I think adding this to any of the masks is a great kind of, if you're working on someone that does have that combination skin, my favorite is to add it to the green tea, just because I do work on more of those dry acne, and it's just amazing for that.
Awesome, thank you. All right, so that's kind of another kind of little tip as well. It's not going to be in here. So another thing that you can utilize as far as mixology goes is the Circadia Spot Stop. So our Spot Stop, if you've ever used it before, you'll know that it's formulated similar to a mask. It's not really formulated to absorb into the skin. It's formulated to sit at the surface of the skin. So you can always utilize the Spot Stop to turn any of our masks into a antibacterial, antimicrobial mask. So same way as far as increasing the intensity, you'll just add like a pump or two if you have the back bar one, and now that's going to transform your mask and have additional antibacterials, anti-inflammatory. So that's another way that you can actually change up the back bar. In addition to just adding the Spot Stop directly into the mask, I also like to lay it into the skin as well, especially if you have someone that has like that cystic acne. Applying the Spot Stop 1 or 2 pumps into snow algae and just applying it in just that cystic acne area, or even just on that actual lesion, it's going to intensify the Spot Stop and make it more of a treatment room type of kind of application. So Spot Stop, it's a retail product. However, you still want to utilize Spot Stop in the back bar, but you want something that the consumer doesn't have access to. You want to kind of bump it up a little bit. So kind of mixing those together is also amazing. Another way that I do like to utilize Spot Stop is I'll mix it with the green tea mask and I won't apply it full face application. I'll just spot treat the acne lesions. So I like to customize my mask, not really by the client, but more on what their skin needs. So you'll notice, you know, it's almost like I'm painting by numbers when I'm applying a mask on a client's skin. I have this area that has this mask, this area that has this mask, and then spot it treating with this one as well. So just know, you know, there is kind of, you know, not really so many kind of rules as far as how you have to apply them, but as long as you know where these products are going to be beneficial to the skin, you can absolutely face map the client's skin and customize that area where needed. So now we're going to talk about, so, you know, this presentation, in addition to it being advanced mixology, we also wanted to talk about a little bit more of enhancements that you can start to add to your traditional facials. So the first enhancement that we do have, it's considered to be our lip treatment. So you can have a lip treatment with just some of the products that you typically have there into the back bar. Shauna, did you want to go through the products and the directions on this one?
Yeah, of course. So the first step that you're going to go through in the product is going to be our vitamin Bell cleanser. Our vitamin Bell cleanser is our oil-based cleanser. This one's going to be great to use in the lip area. It's going to be almost acting as a hydrator as well. And then what I do is I steam while the vitamin Bell is on there, so you're getting that extra exfoliation. After the steaming, you're going to go in with that disposable mascara wand for the extra exfoliation on the lips, especially right now. Our lips are very dry and dehydrated for being out in the sun, and this is a great treatment to do as well in the winter. The next one is going to be our marshmallow whipped hydrating mask that we did talk about all of the amazing ingredients, such as the royal jelly in there. You're going to mask the lip with this, and then you're going to remove it and finish with our Hydrolux. Our Hydrolux is one of our multi-use products you can add to any product for that extra boost of hydration. So it is kind of great to mention with the mixology. You can use it on your nail beds. You can use it on your lips as well as your hair, and even as like a beard oil. So I really do love that Hydrolux to have it in the back bar as a treatment to add to anything that you would need.
Yeah, definitely great point on this one. So the lip treatment, we don't have a time specified on here because there's really nothing in here that if you leave it on longer, there's really nothing that's going to happen. They're just going to get the nice hydration. So our entire lip treatment, it is going to help to exfoliate the skin with that disposable mascara wand, but everything in here is designed to hydrate the skin. And then when you finish off with Hydrolux, so the reason why we're finishing with Hydrolux and not something else, so Hydrolux has a very natural preservative system. So what maintains bacteria kill in the Hydrolux, it's going to be cinnamon leaf oil and then also curry leaf oil as well. So those two oils is what's going to kind of prevent bacteria from growing within the product. So since it has a natural preservative system, it's going to be great for the lips, the cuticles. But another kind of key benefit is that cinnamon leaf oil that's in there, it's also considered to be a stimulating oil. So it will bring some blood flow to the surface of the lips and kind of plump them up a little bit, kind of reduce some of those fine lines and wrinkles that you typically see in the lip area. So this can be done as a standalone treatment as well. I know maybe we can utilize this more for like hairstylists or something like that, where, you have hair color processing, you also have maybe a perm processing. However, why not, instead of just the client sitting there just reading a book or a magazine, why not have them something on their lips that's considered to be a lip treatment as well?
And not to mention, oh, sorry, George.
Oh, no, you go ahead.
Just wanted to mention, this is something great as well. I do eyelash extensions. So this is something that I do as an add-on that they're kind of leaving, because most of the time they're coming in with no makeup. And when they leave with obviously their new eyelashes and this lip treatment, they kind of have everything together on their face and it looks amazing.
Yeah. So the next we also have an eye treatment, which is part of our enhancement menu. So the products that we're utilizing in here. So what this eye treatment is designed to do is hydrate underneath the eye area, but also decrease redness. It's also designed to decrease kind of puffiness underneath the eye area, and then also help to plump up those fine lines and wrinkles. So the products that we're utilizing is the Aloe and Calendula Calming Mist, our Chrono Calm Serum, Marshmallow Whip Hydrating Mask, and also Caviar Lime and Passion Fruit Enzyme Mask, and then finishing off with Emergency Eye Lift. So the way that you're going to want to utilize this, so this one's typically done in more of a traditional facial setting. They have the mask that's already on their skin, and now you just add an additional eye treatment on there. So what you're going to do is you're going to saturate cotton rounds with the Aloe and Calendula Calming Mist. You're going to apply that over top the eye area with the eyes closed down. You'll leave that on from anywhere to 2 to 4 minutes. And then what you're going to do is just kind of use that to remove any type of oils that are underneath the eye area, above the eyebrow as well. Then you're going to do a nice little kind of massage, but you're utilizing a water-based product. So you're going to infuse the eye area with our Chrono Calm Serum. So Chrono Calm Serum, it's one of our top selling serums that's part of the rosacea, sensitive, even the reactive range of Circadia. But Chrono Calm, it's going to have natural vasoconstrictors. So we utilize vasoconstrictors and vasodilators throughout the aesthetic industry because they have many purposes. In addition to these being topical ingredients, also think of hot and cold. Hot and cold is also vasoconstrictor, vasodilators. Whenever we put a hot towel over the skin, that's going to be a vasodilator. It's going to dilate the capillaries, increase blood flow. No matter what, as soon as you remove a hot towel from the skin, you will see redness. However, we utilize cold because cold is a vasoconstrictor. So we utilize cold to constrict the capillaries. So Chrono Calm has an ingredient in there that's called the telangian peptide, and that's what's going to decrease the blood flow underneath, so kind of get rid of some dark circles under there. Another kind of key benefit of the Chrono Calm, it does have that marshmallow root extract and also the ginger root extract for nice, powerful anti-inflammatory. So you're gonna apply that underneath the eye area and also above the brow bone. So we don't recommend to go above the eyelid. The only product that we do recommend to go above the eyelid or on the eyelid is the emergency eye lift. These other products can be a little too stimulating, too active on there. So you'll do, once you kind of apply that serum, I like to do a nice little kind of eye massage. I do like to do tapotement, some effleurage, and just in the eye area, just to kind of relax the skin. It's not like a full long massage. Once that product has absorbed, you're ready to go on to the next step. So then your next step is going to be combining the marshmallow whip hydrating mask with the caviar lime and passion fruit enzyme mask. So all the benefits of the marshmallow, anti-inflammatory, hydrating, but now you added just a little burst of exfoliation, nothing too aggressive that can potentially irritate the under eye area. So you cut down the activity of that, added the marshmallow, that's going to be applied over the eye area. So now you have a couple different options here. You can just leave it on there, but what I like to do is like a cold stone massage. So I'll even do like an ice glow massage underneath the eye area, but above the eyebrow bone as well. So you'll leave that for about 5 to 7 minutes. You know, you could possibly go a little bit longer depending on the client. And then once that's completely removed, so you're going to remove that with wet 4x4s or even cotton rounds. Then you'll finish it with the emergency eye lift. Same thing, you can provide that tapotement, that massage underneath the eye area above the eyebrow bone as well. And then the client is good to go. And then once you remove the rest of the mask from the client's skin, of course, SPF and some other hydrating products will be beneficial to that area as well. Anything to add on this one, Shauna?
Nope, I think you covered it. It's a great one though, for sure.
Perfect. Okay, so then the last one that we have is adding a hand treatment. So this is going to be another part of our enhancement menu. So products on here is almondola milk cleanser, micro exfoliating honey cleanser. We also utilize the Zymase enzyme, licorice and burberry brightening mist, firming peptide mask, and tidal moisture, and also hydrolox. So what you're going to want to do is kind of utilize another mixology technique in here. So you're going to combine the almondola milk cleanser and the micro exfoliating honey cleanser. Kind of mix it into like a bowl or in your hands, and that's when you're going to start to cleanse the hand area. After you cleanse it, then you're going to remove that product with a hot towel, some 4x4s, or, you know, a lot of the times for these hand treatments, what I would typically do is I would utilize these and have them kind of cleanse their own hand pretty much, like right before they even go to lay down. So have them cleanse their own hand with these mixtures, just kind of hand it to them. And then after that, you're going to exfoliate with the Zymase enzyme. So this isn't just going to be applied on the back of hands. It's going to be on the back, on the front of the hands. And then after you do that, I like to wrap it with like saran wrap or even like little plastic bags, something that's going to keep the moisture in. But then I'll cover it with a warm towel, or even if you have like those little mittens, something like that. Once you cover it with the warm towel, that's going to be on the skin for anywhere between 5 to 7 minutes. Then you'll use that hot towel to remove the product. So after that, we like to infuse the skin with our licorice and burberry brightening mist. So this is going to be our mist that's designed for damaged skin, pigmented skin. So use that just to spray, do some tapotement on the hands if you wanted to. You can also utilize this to kind of massage the hands as well, or you can spray it into your client's hands and have them just kind of rub them together if you want to do it that way as well. After that, the mask that we're going to utilize is going to be the firming peptide mask. So you're going to mix the firming peptide mask. So kind of mixing instructions from that, I typically do a 2-to-1 ratio. So 2 parts powder to 1 part activator. And you're going to apply that just on the back of the hands only. You really don't want to apply it on the kind of palm of the hands. You know, you can, but there's not very many benefits that it's going to provide in that area. But if you apply it on the back of the hands, that's where it's going to start to kind of plump up those fine lines and wrinkles. It's going to stimulate mitochondrial activity. It's going to help to reoxygenate that area as well. So you want to leave that till it completely dries. So there's no steam, there's no heat. You want this mixture to dry on there. After that, you're going to remove it with a foaming cleanser and water. So you're going to do like a nice hand massage. A tip that I have for the removal in this area, so earlier we talked about mixing snow algae and the lipid. And so mixing that with the foam, what I would recommend is mix that in a high foam in a little dish, apply that onto the back of the hands, and then re-wrap them with a hot towel. And then once you go to pull the hot towel off, the mask comes right off with it as well. Of course, we do want to finish with some hydrating products. So you can finish off with our Tidal Moisture on the full hand. So provide like a nice hand massage with Tidal Moisture. And then you're going to finish off that massage with Hydrolox. But Hydrolox isn't going to go over the full entire hand area. Hydrolox is going to be a nice kind of cuticle massage on there. So massage the Hydrolox into the cuticles. And then of course, finish off with your favorite SPF is also ideal. And this is going to be a nice hand treatment to do as a standalone type of treatment, or you can also utilize this while the mask is setting on the client's skin. So versus just having a hand and arm massage, utilizing something like a hand treatment is definitely going to help to build revenue into the treatment room, but your cost per usage is going to be minimal with this. Anything to add on this, Shauna?
I think it is great to mention that you did say you can use it as a standalone or an add-on. I do think this is something great that I always recommend to my clients when I know that they're doing a mask or a treatment that needs to be on their skin a little bit longer than just a normal like 10 to 12. So I always recommend this one with either the switch or just doing the peptide C or the Fermi peptide mask on the face, because you do have that window about 20 to 30 minutes. And this is a great one to add on because their skin on their face is already going to be looking glowing, and there's going to be the anti-aging benefits. And then they're also getting that one on the back of the hands. Getting into wedding season, another great one to recommend for your brides. I mean, I feel like your hands are being pictured at all times with your rings. So I do feel like this is a great one to recommend to your brides as well.
Yeah, that's definitely a good point. Another thing to mention, this whole entire procedure right here doesn't have to be done in just that one portion of the facial. So sometimes you can start the hand treatment at the enzyme portion. So when you have the enzyme sitting on the skin for 10 to 12 minutes, that's when you can also do the enzyme on and the cleanse the enzyme on the client's hands and leave the enzyme on there. And then once you get to the mask portion, now you can remove the enzyme and go to the firming peptide mask. So kind of think of this as like a whole entire ritual. So instead of having downtime during the facial, start out your hand treatment right at the beginning of the facial, and then you'll finish off with the hand treatment the same time that you finish off the actual facial. So just a couple more kind of slides to go through. I know we're going over a little bit of time, which we always do. So I don't know why we say an hour every single presentation we do, because we always go a little bit over. But I did want to just discuss with you also, you know, we have some great specials that are going on right now. So if you're really interested in the mixology, now's kind of the perfect time to purchase some of our enzymes and our masks that we discussed, because it's part of our special that we have. So our special is going to be a Christmas in July. So the first one we'll talk about is going to be our retail special as well. So all of our kind of Circadia essentials as far as retail is buy 4, get 1 free. So all of our cleansers are buy 4, get 1 free. They're not mix and match. So for example, if you bought 4 of the honey cleansers, you'll get 1 for free. If you bought 4 of the almondola, you'll get 1 for free. Our 0.5 ounce vitamin C reversal serum is also buy 4, get 1 free. And our light day sunscreen, broad spectrum SPF 37, our 2 ounce is also buy 4, get 1 free. A popular kind of special that's really popular right now, it's our professional enzyme and mask set. So all of our enzymes are mix and match buy 4, get 1 free. So, you know, you don't have to buy 4 of the same one. You can buy the Cav, the Australian, the Marsh, and then get snow algae for free as well. So this is really customizable. If you're not sure which masks or enzymes that you would feel would fit your kind of practice on there, just reach out to our corporate office and they will be able to guide you based on a couple of questions that they ask you about your clientele, their price point, different stuff like that. And then they can also send you different protocols. So this is a super unique special that we typically do just once a year, both of these, and it's always kind of Christmas in July. So this is kind of our contact information. So you can reach us directly at info@circadia.com, or you can also go to www.circadia.com, and that will provide you with more contact information on how to find us. And then that's also our toll-free direct number, 1-800-630-4710. All right, so that kind of concludes our mixology webinar, but in addition to mixology, we also discussed some enhancements on there as well. So if anybody does have any type of questions, you can always email us at info@circadia.com. Another option is we have educator@circadia.com. So there's tons of different ways. One other thing I do want to mention is we also have another place that you can find us directly. And if you're part of Facebook, If you just go to the Circadia Educational Forum, just kind of look that up. You'll just have to answer a couple of different questions, and then you will be able to have access to tons of educational material just that's part of Facebook on there. All right, thank you so much, everybody, and I'm sure we'll talk to you all soon.
Thank you, everyone. Have a great day.